Ready?
Yep.
All right, at this time, we'll call to order the Code Enforcement Board meeting for July 2022. Roll call, please.
Ron Birkin, Matt Calvert,
Here.
Lisa Onam, here, Tim Skinner,
Here.
Alan Taylor.
Here. Under old business, we have the appeal 01-2022. Oh, gotta approve the minutes. Right. Everyone on this board, sorry. I'm getting old, y'all need to be chairman. Did everyone receive the minutes from our June meeting? And would you submit a motion to approve those minutes as submitted?
I will make a motion to approve the June minutes as submitted.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes are approved. Thank you. All right, now, appeal 01-2022. Do we have a update?
Ms. Turner's here.
Yes. Ms. Turner, would you like to speak to us about the resolution of the issues?
I got a phrase. Ms. Turner, can you go to
I
the
need you, yeah.
microphone? I got to relax.
So we all moved out, everything's taken care of?
Not everything's out. Couple of bought the other furnishing in their family.
I'm having a hard time hearing you. I'm sorry.
I think she said that the couple who bought the rest of the furniture has COVID.
Oh,
Yes,
uh,
but I've got them afraid.
okay. Do you know when they will be out of quarantine and able?
No, sir, I don't. Call them, because I called them Friday.
Okay, the other issue was the demolition, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Have you
Yes.
contracted for the demolition of the
Yeah, I got
structure?
an estimate for it.
Okay. Is that estimate with a date of, when they're available?
Not date of termination.
I'm sorry?
Not with the date of termination.
Okay.
Ms. Turner, is it with, bowling?
Mhm.
You got the estimate, are you going to go with that estimate?
Yes,
Okay.
hopefully. I'm still waiting for the other man to get back.
So you have another estimate?
But I have,
Okay. Can we ask who the other person was?
the man in Evans here, that, friend of mine.
Okay.
I have it.
Did he indicate to you when he thought that you would have that estimate? Did he indicate to you, your friend in Evansville, when he would have you the estimate?
No. But I do have, in case he don't get back in touch.
Normally, the COVID isolation period is, what, 10 days? Is that correct? So within a 10-day period, assuming they've already been diagnosed and they're already in isolation, then could they get the remaining things out?
Right.
And can you, in that time period also, whichever bid you accept, go on a contract with those people?
Yeah.
So our next meeting and the end of August, furniture should be out and,
Demolition, I believe.
and demolition should
Oh, yeah.
have taken place.
Yeah.
Contractors are kind of busy. I don't know if they'd get into it or get to it in a month.
Can we ask that at least a demolition permit be issued by the next meeting?
Sure,
I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Go ahead and make a motion.
I have one question though. Ms. Turner, does the bowling's, proposal, does it have a date on it by which time you have to accept it? Is it good for like 30 days or?
We see that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
on what I read. No. Just the quote for the definition.
How much?
Uh,
I'm sorry, I couldn't
You
understand.
take
quote
Yeah,
for the
do you want to submit that to the
30
board
days.
for them to review, and we can make a copy
See,
of
when it
it?
was submitted,
Yeah, let's look at it.
We'll make a copy of it.
Okay.
We'll go ahead, let you all look at it.
Well, I know the actual demolition itself doesn't take hardly any time.
No.
It's just that whenever they get to it is usually the issue, and this doesn't really indicate that when they'd be available. At this point, we've tabled this because of, the issues, the last two meetings, actually. She has taken steps to acquire a bid for the demolition. Obviously, COVID's stopped the removal of whatever possessions were there in the household. So, would the board want to extend or table this for one more 30-day period till the next meeting? And then if all of this has been done, obviously, we can deal with the fines at that point.
We have no objection, the city has no objection to that.
And the permit has to be issued before the,
Yes,
Next.
yeah, we want to see the permit, by the next meeting, whether they can get to it or not. We want evidence that, okay, you're contracted with them and they're gonna get the work done as soon as possible. That,
you're talking about a demolition permit.
yes, yes. Is that, what's the pleasure of the board?
I think it's fair.
You wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion to table appeal 01/2022 to our August meeting.
You want,
the
And-
demolition.
And, would like to include that demolition
Yeah.
permit be provided.
at that meeting? All right, that's the motion. Any second?
I will make a second.
Any question? Everybody understand the motion? All in favor, aye? Aye. All right, motion's passed. We'll see you in 30 days
okay,
with your permit, okay?
okay, I have to get her here.
Well, he'll get the permit.
Either.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I know of no other old business. Anybody aware of anything else we've got pending? All right. Under new business, contested citations. Steve, you've got the floor.
Would you like to swear him in before
Oh.
he begins?
Sure. You swear to tell us all of the facts as you know them to be true?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay, this is 1214 Helm Street, was inspected by Ray Nix and myself on February 13, 2022. The property was condemned after inspection on February 24th, 2022. The owner of the property had an interested buyer for the property that had intention of renovating or rebuilding the house. An affidavit was drafted and a detailed inspection report were generated March 15, 2022. Mr. Wood signed the affidavit on March 22nd, stating that he would immediately apply for a building permit and obtain engineer drawings from the Kentucky licensed structural engineer for the necessary structural repairs and comply with conditions and remedies stated in the inspection report by correcting all notified deficiencies along with other violations of the Kentucky Residential Code within 6 months. A building permit was not applied for. Mr. Wood decided that instead of renovating the property, he would demolish the property. Another affidavit was drafted on behalf of Mr. Wood to comply with the notice of violation, reference number 2022-00000102, and immediately apply for a demolition permit and demolish the property within 30 days of receiving the demolition permit. Mr. Wood signed the second affidavit on April 19th of 2022. Mr. Wood applied for a demolition permit. Permit was held in administrative hold on April 20th due to the contractor not having an occupational license. The property was not torn down. Mr. Wood approached our department to sell the property with a signed affidavit to a buyer. An affidavit was drafted on Mr. Wood's behalf May 17th, the buyer would not sign the affidavit. A letter was sent to Mr. Wood extending a final opportunity to remedy the original notice of violation until Monday, June 13th of 2022. Mr. Wood had another buyer interested in the property. Another affidavit was drafted for Mr. Wood on June 10th. The affidavit was not signed by June 13th. The property was cited again June 15th, 2022, citation number 2022-00000748 as a first offense and is being contested by Mr. Wood today.
All right, Mr. Woods, are you present?
I'm gonna submit all those applications and the letter as evidence from the
And
city of
Chairman?
Henderson.
We also have pictures if you all would like to
Yes,
go through
absolutely.
those.
Yeah, bring us up to speed with those, please.
And Steve, is there anything you want to point out on any of them?
Yeah, this is the property, you can see in the middle, where the roof line is actually caved in a bit. It's hard to tell with this photo, but the wall structure in the front is actually, has sagged due to deteriorated, floor joists. There is no siding on the front there's broken windows. You can see that's a better picture of the roof line. There are holes in the roof, there is, obvious moisture intrusion, possible mold type substance, et cetera, from moisture intrusion. Siding. That is rot. The actual fascia is falling off of the building. Loose siding causes, moisture intrusion. Broken glass, safety hazard. Rot on the wood, around the window casing. Again, in that area, you can see there's a void on the bottom left of that window. Again, pest and moisture intrusion, deterioration, wood needs to be painted, et cetera. Like broken glass. This is just gives you an idea of how the building is dilapidated. Right there, there's floor joist. That's a floor joist right there underneath that door. It is unprotected and it's all open in the crawl space. Rot, a lot of rot. Again, right here, some more missing fascia, rot. That's a typical crack in the foundation. Again, that's all open. It's open to the crawl space there. There used to be, I think there's probably a porch or an addition in that place that's gone now.
Okay. Mr. Woods,
Yes, sir.
would you state your name, your address, and then I'd like to swear you in?
Mario Wood, 1214 Helm Street.
Okay? And do you swear to testify to the facts as you know them to be true, sir?
Yes, sir, I do.
All right. What is your position here as far as contesting these citations? It's been some time, obviously, since you've been notified.
Yes, sir. But this is obviously my first offense. It's a learning experience for me. You know, I'm just now trying to get my feet wet with this property here. And I just, like I said, it's just a learning experience, whether I fail or whether if I succeed. I'm just here to learn and see what to do and what not to do. Obviously, you know, the house there has a lot to needs to be worked on. And I just, right now, I ain't got time to sit there and work on it, so my plans is either go ahead and sell it, or I could have a demolition. But things with the demolition didn't work out, so now I'm looking to sell it. I do have a buyer, but I was told not to sell it until I come and take care of this matter first.
Wait, did you just purchase this in April?
Yes, ma'am.
But the first citation was issued in February, is that correct?
Yes.
The house was condemned, under a different owner.
Okay.
And, he sold it with Mr. Wood with the affidavit that was signed. You can read the
I
affidavit.
understand. Again, I guess where we're coming from is it's unsafe, it's in violation of codes. We need to hear from you when and how you're going to remedy this, or the fines are gonna stand as is. Anybody disagree with that comment? What are you gonna do and when?
Mr. Wood, you bought the house knowing it was condemned?
Honestly, I didn't know it was condemned. I didn't hear nothing about it being condemned. I was just told that I need to sign an affidavit stating that I was either gonna fix it or tear it down. So that's what I went with to fix it up. But, I didn't know, when I got the house, it wasn't no sign in the middle of the house. Just saying that they had a code enforcement that came and did what they did to it. So therefore, I didn't know that it was condemned at that time, if that's the question you was asking.
That,
I think if you look at the
Is that what it says in
affidavit,
the
that'll
affidavit?
explain, he signed the affidavit.
yeah, it says here that your signature's on this affidavit,
Yes, sir.
and that's dated April 19th.
Yes, sir.
So you were aware on April 19th about the condemnation
Said it needs to be fixed up, yes, sir,
or removed.
or removed, either or.
So we're sitting here almost September, and basically nothing's been done. I understand circumstances that you've presented, but our job is to see that the codes are enforced. We're not here to be bad guys or mean or anything like that, but when you're aware that there's a violation of the code and months and months and months have expired and nothing has transpired to fix it, can you explain what's your position here?
I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that fine, and like I said, if I'm able to sell it, I'm gonna go ahead and sell it.
Okay. John?
Alright, so, Mr. Rubio wanted to sell it, and we agreed, if you read that letter, to allow him if he got it. So, but the people would have to come in and sign it. When they came in and signed it, they realized what was required. They did not choose to sign it. So, that's how we're here. Now, I think he thinks that they'll come back and try to sell it again, or that they might come back and buy it, but our problem is we're to the deadline that we gave Mr. Rubio when he first purchased it, with the condemnation notice that he signed and acknowledged, to the point, this is when stuff should have already happened. So, we would ask that it get torn down. It is our position that this house needs to be torn down. I think Mr. Rubio got inside, realized how bad it was, and decided he couldn't do it. So, he did get a contractor once to tear it down. The contractor does not have a business license, and he cannot do work in the city without a business license. So, we would like to see this torn down. We're not as interested in the fine as we are in proceeding with the condemnation and getting this house torn down.
All right, because obviously it's unsafe, it's not a livable
Okay,
structure.
we're confused. Who is Mr. Rubio?
Wood, sorry.
Okay.
Mr. Wood.
Okay.
Sorry.
Columbus sounded water, we didn't know. Okay. Okay.
Mr. Wood. And so what we would like to see is the building brought down, and he did have a contractor but we couldn't allow him to get a permit because he didn't have a business license.
Okay, I'm just gonna throw my opinion out here. This is, I'm not speaking for the board. But I think if you proceeded, if I were you, if you proceeded ASAP with a contractor to demolish the, structure, and show up in 30 days at our next meeting with that done, I think the fines might go away. And the issue would be resolved because the city then wouldn't have to worry about somebody getting hurt or sick or whatever safety hazards that presents. Does that sound like common sense to you?
It does sound like common sense. So are you saying I'm not able to sell the property?
I don't know that you could sell it if
It is we would
it's
not,
condemned.
right, we only allow people to sell property when it's condemned if they sign the affidavit stating it, but in this situation, we're past those deadlines when we allowed it to happen last time, so.
Too many months it's gone on, and that process has kind of run its course, I think, with the city.
And I think, like you said, this is a learning experience, because I think you got into something that was a lot more complicated than what you anticipated.
Would you be in agreement to have the building demolished within the next 30 days?
I ain't got time or the money to sit there and have it demolished. If I can't sell it, is there any other option for me to do? I have a buyer, but y'all don't want me to have that buyer come and get the house and sign the affidavit? Then is there another option or something I could do or go about?
Can you respond to that, Dawn?
Well, the buyer came to sign the affidavit at the end of May, and the buyer refused to sign the affidavit.
So you don't have a buyer?
I do have a buyer. I don't know what that's about right here, because I have a buyer that came over to the codes office, but I was told that I couldn't sell the property until I came and deal with this matter.
He may have had a buyer after we sent this out, and as you all go, once this gets sent out, we don't have any flexibility. But the problem we got is we're just kicking this can
Down the road, and I understand the problem.
And that if you looked at the dates that were in everything was supposed to be done by now, from February, from March. So we would like, maybe Mr. Woods can work with the buyer, and maybe the buyer can finance condemnation under a buy-sell agreement, but not with a deed.
Question. Can you proceed with the buyer, in a short time period to consummate the sale and sign the appropriate, document?
Yes, sir. When's the time you need me to be there or to get this situated?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Because we've, like she stated before, we're 4 months down the road, basically. So something's gotta be done quick.
Yes, sir.
If he sells it, we would request that this board order that the house be demolished by the next meeting.
You understand that?
Yes, sir.
The buyer would be willing to buy the property and then have it demolished?
Demolished.
Yeah.
He has to sign an affidavit to have it demolished, and he can't sell it or, do anything else, because what's offered is they want it to be torn down.
Yeah. Whoever buys it's gotta,
Right, yes, sir.
okay?
And when is the deadline, or when do I need to have this, taken care of?
Well, we want this all done, completed, by the next meeting, which is 30 days from today.
Yes, sir.
And we would hope that if it's not, that Mr. Woods would be the one who receives the fine.
Yes, the fines you will be liable for, if this hasn't been taken care of by the next meeting.
Yes, sir.
All right? Is everybody good with that? Board?
So run that by me again.
We're gonna table basically the issuance of these collection of these fines, and give him a 30-day period to sell with the condition that the property be demolished, and that's all got to be completed.
And the affidavit signed by the buyer.
And that signing of the affidavit by the next meeting.
If he can't do it, and the person comes in doing it, then Mr. Woods is responsible.
He's gonna be responsible for the demolition and all the fines.
So whoever ends up owning it has to take it down within the
Exactly.
next 30 days. What happens if that doesn't happen? The fines are gonna continue to go on,
Yep.
and then the city moves to have the city take it down?
And then you'll be liable for the expense of the city removing it.
Plus 25% on top of that.
So it's gonna get real expensive real quick.
Okay.
It's considerably more expensive if the city has to take it down.
I want to tell you, I appreciate your words. Thank you for asking him that question. It kind of helped me a little bit.
Any other discussion from the board? Well, we need a motion, I'm sorry. Table.
Okay, we make a motion to table the fines until the next meeting, and that Mr. Woods will be allowed to sell the property with the new buyer coming in, signing the affidavit, with the new owner with the new owner agreeing to have the building taken down within the next before the next meeting. If that does not occur, then Mr. Woods will have the building taken down.
And we also need, in that the building is condemned, if you uphold the condemnation issue.
And that we uphold the condemnation as, recommended by the Codes Department.
I'm good with that. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Matt, any more discussion? Everybody understand? In favor, aye? Aye. Okay, we'll see you in 30 days.
Yes, sir.
All right, I hope,
Yes, ma'am.
You will receive a notice later this week that will spell out what their motion is and when the next meeting is. Okay?
Mario, did you sign that paper?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, thank you.
thank you, sir.
Thank you. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving along to Appeal 03-2022. Seventeen oh nine North Green Street.
Sorry.
Yes, sir. You, Dobby, somebody, tell us what's going on.
I got to get to a microphone.
And before then.
Would you give us your name and address, please?
It is Dobby Fidella, out of 610 South Main Street.
And do you swear to give us the information that you're presenting and to the best of your knowledge, it's all true?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
I got a complaint on this address at 1709 North Green Street. When we went over there, it had a whole lot of, issues, like floors were weak. There was holes in the floors. They didn't have no smoke alarms, the plumbing was all messed up, and when I sent a letter out, we didn't get no response. Until after the citations went out, it was the day after the citation at its end, so we got a response. So by then, I couldn't do anything with it, because it was already closed out.
What was the date that you initially notified the property owners?
The notice of violation went out on June the 6th,
Okay,
and then the citation went out on June the 16th.
Do we have any pictures of this property?
I don't have any with me, no.
Do you want to tell them what happened after June the 6th?
They called me on like the 17th about it, but again, I'd already sent it to the board, and once it goes to the board, there's nothing I can do with it.
They called to, Dobby, did they call to indicate to you that they would remedy the issue?
They were supposed to be working on it, but I think there was issues with the tenant.
And so once they were going to get rid of the tenant, were they going to try to repair everything?
Yeah.
But were you able to waive the citation since it already gone out?
It
So,
was already past the citation states 7 days, and I give them 10 because I sent them out certified, and it was already past 10 days when they got a hold of me.
okay.
so it had to come to you all. You may want to ask them what their plans are,
Sure.
but we had no flexibility at that point once the landlords got a hold of us to talk to us. So we told them to come to you all and explain their position.
All right, thank you. Any questions for her? And I'm assuming we have some property owners representing here, so please state your name and your address, and I'll swear you in.
All right. I'm Jamie Young,
My name is Alan Young.
Okay.
and we both live at 704 Cherokee Drive.
Mhm. Do you swear to tell us the facts as you know them to be true?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
All right, give us some information.
Okay, no problem. We did receive that notification on, we saw that there was an inspection done on July the 6th. We got a notification in the mail, And honestly, I did kind of put it on the back shelf. We were leaving for vacation on July the 11th.
June.
I'm sorry. Not now, not July. So we got, the inspection took place on the 6th. We got a piece of mail. We were trying to get our heads straight for vacation that we had been planning for a long time. Anyway, so we left on the 11th. We returned on the 19th. And then we were, anyway, whenever we got the piece of information that had the citation that she mentioned, that was very alarming, especially because we saw that there was a fine of $500. And I thought, oh gosh, this is very quick and very sudden. This has never happened before. We know that the apartment was in bad shape.
The lady had chose not to pay June or July rent, so she knew she was leaving when she filed the call. We had started the eviction process. She did not fight it at this time. We had went through this, the prior year. There was another lady that was her friend that, got evicted and called codes. We got it all straightened through codes. It was no big deal. That's why we were ready to go on vacation and didn't think a whole lot about it. I thought we could straighten it out as well, because it's simply a lady getting evicted and she demolished the apartment and then blame us, and I hate that there's not any more flexibility in the system after there's a citation that, we have to come in front of you guys and that we have to go this far, because we've been in the business for 20 years. We try to do good. This lady, for instance, she was living in the park 1 week a month, and the other 3 weeks was living at a local hotel. We gave her a shot. She'd been there 2 years. Her family finally started taking advantage of her, and I guess she's back at the hotel now.
There's no doubt that our plans are to completely remodel it. That's already taken place. We've already gutted out the whole thing down to the subfloor.
We've removed the whole bathroom. We've removed quite a bit of the drywall and all the flooring.
So every issue that Javi brought up, you have addressed with a contractor?
It started. It hasn't been rectified yet. And quite honestly, it was in bad shape when she moved in, and it was tremendously worse after she was there. And she was evicted due to lack of payment, but we could have evicted her for damage to property as well. So, anyway.
This is the first time in 20 years I've had to just throw out a refrigerator. She unplugged it and left it full of food, and it was in bad enough shape from just the debris in the refrigerator. I threw it out.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So we're hoping we can just relieve ourselves of any fines. Hopefully the board will see us as, trying to do good. Next time we get a letter, we'll jump on it first sight.
Right, that was our mistake.
When you get a letter from the city, do not go on vacation.
And I've talked to Bobby, and we've traded numbers. I've been notified twice in the past. John called me years ago about a heating issue, and, nothing even got in the mail. It was taken care of and done. And then, who was the guy before? I'm sorry, Don. Ray before had dealt with her friend that went through the whole eviction process, and Ray was good to work with as well on it. So I hope we can continue that, and we can just go from there.
Well, I have to admit my prejudice, because I have been a landlord. I understand completely what you dealt with. What's the pleasure of this board?
They're fixing the place, so, they're already started.
Dismiss the thing?
I think so, it's being
Dismiss
addressed.
it.
What do you call it, Chris?
Not to
We can't
dismiss.
dismiss them.
Suspend them.
Suspend.
Yeah.
Do you have a time frame as far as making the repairs and getting it?
We'd be glad to meet any time frame within reason. I think a month we'd have this thing buttoned up. We most of the time do a lot of little work ourselves. We have a 16-year-old son who is going in that direction long term, and so being that it's summer, we do utilize him before school starts. But anyway, I think a month would be an appropriate timeline.
I think she's crazy. I need 2 to 3 months,
We like her time.
We're lenient, but we're not easy.
What?
We're lenient, but we're not easy.
It's a small apartment.
That's what we
It's not
need
our
to-
first rodeo.
That's the motion.
Okay, this one right here?
Yep, if you wanna make that before you.
Okay. All right, after hearing testimony, reviewing evidence, the Code Enforcement Board grants judgment in favor of the petitioner and dismisses citation number 2022-00000711 and all associated fines.
That's the motion.
That motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Just more discussion. Any more questions? Okay, if there's by the next meeting, all that's not done, we're throwing y'all out.
We'll be glad to, give a report.
Yeah.
I appreciate the cooperation. It kind of came very swiftly and quick and kind of caught us by surprise because we weren't even notified, codes was even called, which of course is not the normal protocol. We want to be aware of any problems. And honestly, we had hired contractors to work on her place before, and then all of a sudden she just calls codes and everything's a mess, and because it's gotten worse, because she had family members work on it. I'm rambling. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and, no problem. Yep.
We do
All
know
right,
how
we need-
hard y'all work
We
on
need
property.
we've got motion, any other discussion? All in favor of this motion, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's passed.
So have a good evening.
Thank you.
All right, do we have a report beyond that, Steve? The
Sure.
sheriff?
We have 4 citations that are withdrawn by the city, and, we have 50 uncontested citations. That's it.
None of those were for weeds or grass or anything like that, I'm
As you
sure.
can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so any other new business?
Yes, in front of you, you all each have a sheet of paper. On Wednesday of this week at 10:30, in the fiscal courtroom, we will have our next round of master commissioner sales from the master closure. After this, we'll only have, I think, one property, maybe 2.
I think there's 3 more properties, but 1 more sale.
Right. So, and that'll be next month if all holds well. So, if you know anyone who would be interested, please be sure to share.
Lisa said she'll give you 100,000 for all of it.
Yeah.
Oh.
You have to give it to the master commissioner.
Yeah.
But now we are to vacant lots. All of them sold last month. We had 3 houses and 2 vacant lots last month, and they all sold. And so we're hopeful that all the vacant lots will be sold. We did discuss today, we will start working on getting ready for our next mass foreclosures, which will arise out of the work that you all do as well as with unpaid taxes. The last thing we have is we hit Travis. The city has come up with a new app. And we would encourage you to download the app, and Travis is going to talk to you just a minute about the app because you all can see your agendas on your phone on this app. So, Travis?
Wow. But my phone's already smarter than me, so how's that gonna work?
So, as she said, the city does have a mobile app now, on both the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. If you search City of Henderson, KY, you'll be able to find it. That's basically just a new avenue for sharing information with the public. We have meeting agendas. You can actually watch, this meeting is now live on the app. The agendas are on there, news articles, calendar events.
Hate
job
speech,
postings.
does anybody get to comment on it?
No, there's no place for, on the app for people to make comments. We are looking forward, we are looking to have a way to integrate, a place for the public to be able to say, hey, there's a pothole here, or hey, I want to talk to the mayor about this or that. So, it's open for anybody to download.
Interactive, all right.
If this board has anything they want to publish with the app, we'd be welcome to entertaining it.
Thank you.
So, thought you all would want to know
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
And if your family members want to watch you during the meeting,
So I can get my
Download
wife
that
that app, and she'll know when I'm gonna be there for dinner after these meetings,
Oh,
right?
my
Exactly.
gosh.
Exactly.
Thank you.
She'll be texted.
Yeah.
Any other business? This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
All right.
Good job.